Hello, everyone. Welcome to Friday night. I am Markeia McCarty. I'm your host for Hunter's Gathering. Welcome and happy October. Oh my gosh, we've made it. We've made it this far. This is absolutely incredible. Um, well done, all of us. What? Uh, okay, so for today's show. We have a variety of things that we are going to do. First off, obviously, I'm going to have our news for this month, including some stuff with Free Content Fridays, some upcoming cons that we have. But after news, we will be having a discussion with Mika Midgett, who is our GM for this past campaign, Autumn Rights. And then we're going to go into a deep dive exploration with her with GMing do's and don'ts with kids on bikes and Autumn Rights and everything in between. So, to go ahead and start us off, also welcome everybody in the chat. Love seeing y'all. Wonderful. Happy October, Critter Nation 3000. Happy October to you too. So for our news, there's actually some really great. This just came in, like late breaking news that we just figured out, and it's like big thanks to all of you. So uh, Teens in Space won Best RPG for an Origin Award, and that's very awesome. Like one of the creators of Hunters Entertainment, Ivan Van Norman, like was able to like, hey, you gotta tell about this, get this in. For any of y'all that don't know, the Origin Awards first started in like 1975 in Baltimore, and it's all about recognizing excellence in game design. And it also helps with increased awareness for the nominees, the winners, game designers, for the convention itself, hobby games, and everything like that. So you can go over to originawards.net and yes, see Teens in Space up there, along with all the other 2020 nominees, and I'm sorry, and also award winners. Because there's a lot of good things that have come, some good things, like a handful of good things have come out of this year, and this is definitely one of them. So, with other news that we have, those that love Alice is Missing. So, we just received the first print of Alice is Missing, and we actually have some pictures of this for those of you out there. And this went to one of the other co creators of Hunters Entertainment, Christopher J. Della Rosa. And he was very, very kind to take some pictures for us. It was actually a little bit of a process because I was like, angle it more. We need more light. And he is such a wonderful sport. And we have these wonderful pictures for you. So, for those that have ordered this, barring any shipping delays with the manufacturer and everything like that, there's still some more OKs that have to go through, but we're looking at being able to get this to our backers in about 2 months. So, yes, maybe just over 2 months. So, yes, looking out for that. And so for upcoming cons that are happening in October, keeping in mind that these will be virtual. So from the comfort of your own home, being able to game with us, we get to game with you. Hunters Entertainment will be in Falls Renegade Con virtual, and that will be October 9th through 11th. Specifically, the Hunters Gathering that we would normally have on that Friday, we're going to roll into this actual con. So, with that, there will be a very heavy focus on Gods of Metal Ragnarok. So, very much think that you should go ahead and tune in then. We're also trying to get a live play in there. So, I mean, go ahead and join our Discord community if you want to know more about that. And then also, there's a Hunters Gathering blog that you can take a look see, and we have a number of wonderful things, and that is put together by Alex, our community guy, who is in the chat room right now, I'm sure. Yep, there he is, Alex underscore red eye. So nice. He's an awesome person. And okay, so along with that, of course, we have Free Content Fridays. The first Friday of each month, there is a content drop that happens if you go to drive-through rpg.com. you'll be able to get some free content with the Hunters Entertainment games that you already own. So the drops that we have for this month, and if you want to go to the Hunters Gathering blog, you can get like an in-depth view of everything that is going on with it. But we have new content for Outbreak Undead, Kids on Brooms, Icarus, and also Overlight. So yeah, and did I stress enough that it is free content? And if you are interested in helping us produce like further free content in the future, and also, like get paid professionally to help us make gaming content, go ahead and email Alex. And if you go to the Hunters Gathering blog or to the Discord, I mean, I think this guy just kind of like lives on the internet. He's like one of those awesome people. So if you just go ahead and send him an email, and he will get the info to you for that. And then for our final news of the day, so that you know, we have merch that we cycle out every week. If you go to huntersentertainment.com/merch, you will see what we have up now. Every Monday, it changes to something else. Last week, we had Alice's missing t-shirts. This week, we brought back, by popular demand, Outbreak Undead and Zombie merch. And this was for anyone who missed out on the first time with this. So now you get a second chance to get this. And you'll see on the screen in a second where we have a t-shirt and bags options. I think this is very fitting and very good for October, but you know what? You do your October. Some people are unicorns and some people are zombies. And I live in between both of that. So, just you do you with that. So, yes. So, what we are going to do for our show today, like I said earlier at the top, is that we are going to go into a deep dive with Kids on Bikes, GMing do's and don'ts, and then also do a finale recap of our campaign, Autumn Rights. And to do this with us, we have, she is a huge presence on the internet and a huge presence in the GM and playing world. And I mean that by the fact that it was so incredibly pleasant to almost get killed by this individual. We have Mika Midgett. Hello.
Hi. It's so great to be here for the third time in a row. I'm super stoked to talk about Kids on Bikes. I have been a player more than a GM in it, but it is definitely one of my favorite systems to play in and talk about.
Excellent. I love that so much. And just judging by the response of our community in general, they are right there in your camp with things. A lot of them have spent more time playing than necessarily GMing with it. So it'd be great to give them a really great perspective of being someone who's such a, passionate player in general, but like also enjoys the system and has had, this time to like GM it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. So yeah, so let's go ahead, and then also for those that are in the chat, go ahead and hit us with some questions. If you have any questions for Mika in general, or things to do with our Autumn Rights campaign, and for those that are wondering about that, are just to refresh your memory, on Tuesday nights, 6 p.m. Pacific time to 9 p.m. Pacific time, we have Hunters Presents. And with that, we do different campaigns with different games that Hunters Entertainment has produced. This includes licensed properties along with original content. So we've done everything from, well, we've done Outbreak Undead, Zombie, and this latest campaign that we did was Kids on Bikes, specifically Autumn Rights with it. And then that is what Mika was GMing for us. So, yeah, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about Autumn Rights, like in general.
Oh my
Mika.
gosh.
Yeah, yeah.
Where to even begin? Um, when I was first approached to GM for this, I was asked to do a really spooky Halloween uh, like campaign, 2-part campaign, and I was really excited. Halloween's like one of my favorite things, and Kids on Bikes, I feel, is probably one of the most perfect systems to do a holiday campaign in, especially a Halloween one, because it's supposed to be set in a small town. Most Kids on Bike campaigns are like, you're set in a small town, it's kids, and they're finding a mystery and they have to solve it. So it was really, really fun putting this campaign together and going through week by week and like figuring out where the kids are going to go next and what I should set up. Um, the kids were also incredible. I was so so touched by the characters that you guys made. Um, especially like Tortilla, Marcy, Journey, and Cricket. Like they were all so well built and fun to play with and mess with and almost kill every time.
Yeah, like speaking of that, let's go ahead and just play a short clip of our character intros, and then we're going to go in and talk about these characters and how they existed within this world that Mika co-created with the players in it. So yeah, let's go ahead and roll that clip.
Hello and welcome to our Kids on Bikes Autumn Rights RPG. I'm your host Mika, and I am joined by my spooky little cast of kids here. I'm sure most of you know them, but for those that are new to the channel, let's go around the table and introduce ourselves and the characters we will be playing. Let's start with Michelle.
Hey everyone, it's me. I'll be Cricket. I'm gonna be your friend Cricket today. We're gonna be friends, and I am a scout, and I'm very excited to learn new things every day. I do have some carpal tunnel issue with my left hand because my dad says I'm on Wikipedia too much. I just really love googling facts about bugs. I love bugs. If you'd like to see my bug collection, please let me know, and I will show you my bug collection. And yeah, that's all.
Great. Our next player is Tortilla, played by this wonderful person here. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. I'm Luis Carrazzo, and I'm playing Jaime, who goes by James sometimes, who also sometimes goes by Tortilla or T. And he's kind of just like a cool, like easygoing kind of I spent a lot of time helping my parents out, and they own a restaurant, and so like I'm kind of like the errand boy, and I like the Ouija board.
Great. Our next character is Journey, played by Kia. Kia, please introduce yourself.
I'm Markeia McCarty, and I'll be playing Journey. Journey is a lone weirdo. Well, at least, if you have to have something to describe someone, I guess that's her. Me. I'm a self published author. I have my second book of poetry that I am just trying to find the right way to express the existentialism that all of us go through. I'm 14. My book is titled To Live and Die Again. So, Halloween is a state of mind, and I'm glad that everybody is on board. It isn't all about candy and costumes, it's about accepting that we're all going to die.
Perfect. Thank you, Journey. And last but not least, we have Marcy Louise, played by Melee. Melee, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Marcy Louise, played by Melee Damage. But Marcy is she's kind of a bookworm, a little bit of a nerd, a loner, not by choice. She'd love to be a popular girl, but her friend's gone missing, so she's been spying on the neighborhood a lot. See what they're doing, look for a friend. Something feels off.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, those are our characters and players. Michelle Wynn Bradley as Cricket.
Oh, little Cricket, little scout.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and like talk characters with everybody. And I wanted to start with Cricket because it's just like so eager, so pure.
So pure. I was really excited for Cricket because I felt like it fit so well in with the group dynamic already. Having this exploratory character that can just be so curious about everything, but so innocent as well. I really loved all of Michelle's moments as Cricket. It was so cute.
It's absolutely wonderful. And also with for any in the chat that aren't familiar with Kids on Bikes, think Stranger Things, think Tales from the Loop type of a deal with it. Like Mika said earlier, it's like, literally kids on bikes. And it's like, what does that make you think of? Like going in the neighborhood, getting into hijinks in this particular instance, having things with a supernatural and chilling edge. But also, trick-or-treating at the same time. It's All Hallows Eve for a reason, and that's what our intrepid little crew ended up figuring out. But like with Cricket, he was dressed as a knight, and that was his costume. But along with that was obviously a very eager scout.
Just incredible. I can't get over all of Cricket's little mannerisms that Michelle gave him, like his voice and the stuttering and like everything. It was just so good.
Yeah, and one of the things with Cricket is that he was younger than everybody
Yes.
else. I think he was
he was
the
11.
youngest. Yeah, I think he was 11, and I think our oldest was 15.
15. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, just like with that choice, with like that dynamic, I mean, picture yourselves like trick or treating when you're kids. You have, your oldest is 15 and your youngest is 11. Like that group dynamic is something that was brought to this.
Exactly. Yeah. And everyone else's characters, it was interesting when everyone sent me their characters because everyone fit a very specific role in like the teen group of an 80s movie where we had the brawny kid who was a real family forward person.
Oh.
And
yeah,
then we had
Luis Carrazzo.
Yes.
Yes.
And his character was great. Also touching on you guys building your characters and sending them to me in the emails is you sent me all these little details about them that you just kind of wanted to put in their backstory, but it fits so well in the story I had already built. Like Luis's character, Tortilla, having done a Ouija board session and connected with something and thinking he's haunted. And Marcy's best friend Ruthie going missing, and Ruthie being the first one pulled into the estate of Madame Puck. The character building was incredible, and I can't say enough how much I loved everyone's characters that they brought to the table.
Yeah, something that I liked about Luis's character, or well, his real name is Jaime, but he also goes by Tortilla, and it's a name that he made up for himself.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, that kid. It's like, oh yeah,
Right. The one that wanted to be cool really bad. Like,
yeah,
have the nickname, have that backstory. So good.
yeah. And one of the things with those that are a little more familiar with the Kids on Bikes character building, Luis pulled a whole lot of his inspiration from the provider trope. It was like the young provider trope.
Yeah.
Which basically with some of his character build, his creation, is that one of the things that he had was, I believe it was he had loyal or something like that, where it's like, if he spent an adversity token for somebody else, they would get a +2 to their action, type of a thing. So I kept on thinking like, is he a cleric? Is that what this is? It's like, we need this. Like, this is
very support class role for sure.
Yeah, it's like wonderful. And then let's go ahead and talk about my character. I played Journey.
The incredibly creepy Journey. I loved her so much. You really committed by writing all those poems throughout the campaign, which was so cool. And then had a little bit of a romance with Tortilla at the end, where you had the awkward teens being very flustered. I really enjoyed what you brought to the table with Journey and how you built her out. Gosh, she was just so creepy. And I'm glad we had a character that could be creepy and spooky, because the rest of them were a little scared and a little taken aback by all the things happening in the house. But Journey was just like, ah, yes, death. I love it.
Yeah, I had like a back and forth with Michelle on Twitter, and she was like, "Oh yeah, Journey's my Lydia."
Yeah, she was very Lydia Dietz.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, thank you. I love that." Yeah, no, I tapped into my inner emo teen, like from back when. I'm sure I've still got the bad poetry, like the real, for
Oh
real,
yeah,
authentic bad poetry somewhere in my office.
we all had that
Because
phase as a kid.
I always did, yeah. So it was just a lot of fun for me to then be like, you know what? I'm going to, since I said that she's a self-published poet, and that this will be her second book that she'll be publishing on her own, that I
Yeah.
had to do some sort of poetry for her. Yeah, so I very much enjoyed embodying her, because it's just like with something else with the Kids on Bike character creation, you can choose, and I'm forgetting right now the exact thing of it, but you can choose, it's flaws. You can choose
Yeah.
flaws. And for the ones that I had chosen for Journey was gloomy and inconsiderate. And I was just like, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. You need that character in a campaign sometimes. You need that person.
yeah. I just like to balance things out. And then like talking about like balancing things out, like rounding out our trick-or-treating bunch, melee damage.
Oh,
Uh, yes,
so
yes.
quiet, so cute. She felt I wanted to protect her as the GM, and I can't feel that way because I have to hurt the characters and like send them on this journey. She was incredible. She really committed to the voice. She committed to the backstory, and she never lost sight of her character's intense need to find Ruthie, even when she was like facing danger herself, which I thought was really, really great.
Yeah, I really loved how Melee was able to be like so vulnerable with this character who was a germaphobe. Like
Yeah.
that was their big fear. Like each of our characters had a fear, and we're going to like address that in like a really awesome clip a little bit later. But yeah, with like getting the fear of being germophobic, and I mean, especially now, 2020, but
Yeah.
also having this trick-or-treating element and having this like hard on her sleeve type of character that's wants to find her friend so badly, but then that means being outside with all these
Yeah.
people and
Her flaws of germophobia actually made it more real for me because I grew up with a germophobic best friend who would do things like that. Like if he ate a sandwich, he would eat around his fingers and then throw away the part he touched. And so she like really played that so well, and it made it more real. Like it built the world for me as a GM with her doing that. Just a
oh
small thing.
man, oh man, oh that hits me. It's like a because for one, I never thought about that. Why would you eat what your fingers had touched
Yeah.
on your sandwich unless you washed your hands before? And now I'm
Yeah.
rethinking a whole lot of things in my life.
I'm sorry. I just turned you into a germaphobe.
No,
Whoop.
no, this year did. This no,
Right.
you didn't. Yeah, but like with so let's go ahead and talk about our first episode of the two-part campaign,
Yeah, for sure.
where yeah, we have this collection of characters, and each of them are, was it marching to the beat of their own drummer,
Yeah.
but happen to be in the same band, type of a deal. And one of the clips that we pulled was their first contact with, of course, because when you have these characters, they're not necessarily going to be, what's a good term to say this? They're not necessarily going to be the popular kids,
Right.
you know?
Yeah. They're gonna be the misfits, the group of misfits, or like in It, the losers club. They're gonna be that small, tight knit band that is kind of seen differently from the rest of the world.
Exactly. And with that, then obviously when they do meet up with some bullies, all played by Mika, then yeah. So let's go ahead and show this clip of the first encounter of this intrepid misfit crew and how they react with bullies.
And as you guys are heading towards Tom and Martha Rain's house, you aren't looking where you're going. Your journey is explaining death to Marcy and is very wrapped up in this book that she has in her hands. And for Tia, you are just beelining, trying to avoid Mr. Greebles so badly, while wanting these full-size candy bars that both of you don't see the foot that is stuck out in your path that trips you.
No.
And as you look up, you see the faces of the bullies in your grade, Stan Pommet, Georgie Graham, and Trevor the Tank Roston. And they're staring down at you with a smug look on their face.
Did I hit the floor?
Yes, you hit the concrete.
Yeah. That was so unnecessary and uncool. Journey like looks up at them, and since it looks like Trevor's like the biggest one of them,
Yes. He's
she
the
like
oldest
pops
as well.
up directly in his face.
He crosses his arm and squares you up, tilts his chin up as if he's not afraid. Wow, looks like the ghouls are out tonight, boys. And he elbows the two on the sides of him.
Uh-oh. I'm still on the ground.
Yes.
I'm not. I'm just like frozen on the ground. Where's Cricket?
It depends. Cricket and Marcy, did you guys stop when your friends got tripped? Did you notice?
I think I would notice if my comrades have fallen. I want to turn around and start taking a video with my cell phone that my dad gave me, so that I can get evidence of the perpetrators doing the bad deeds to show their parents.
Okay, great.
I have to roll for this.
Yeah.
It's crazy to roll for these things. Okay.
I know.
All right.
Trying to see what your dice are like before we really get into it, you know?
Yeah.
Give me let's do a grit roll.
All
Stan is
right.
going to stare you down as you do this. We'll see if you're brave enough to continue recording him.
Okay. That is that is a 6. Oops.
A 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was I trying to hit?
You were trying to hit a 6. So
Okay.
you steel yourself as Stan looks at you, but he doesn't make a move to take your phone. He actually turns back to Journey and Tortilla on the ground and tries to see if they have any candy yet, but it doesn't look like they do. You can see that behind these bullies, they have a very big trash bag that they've been stealing candy from kids that pass by and pouring it into their trash bag.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go and try and help Journey up since she fell, and I'm gonna be like, "Don't say anything; they'll kill you."
Journey's rebellious, so she looks up at Trevor and goes, big heads have stupid feet that don't know what they're doing. I can cure one of those for you. Because that's how you deal with bullies. That is the only way. Hey, it worked.
It worked. I mean, yeah, it definitely worked.
It worked. It was able to get away.
Yeah.
So
Very
it's like I would watch that in a movie or like a TV series.
Yeah. I actually wow, looking at their names, I didn't realize this. I based them on the It bullies, but I realized I named them after the It kids. I didn't realize that until now. Stan, Georgie, and Trevor. But I based them partly on like the Hocus Pocus bullies, like Ice, and I can't remember the other one's name. And then the It bullies. I didn't want to go as dark as Stephen King goes with his like trauma that he puts on kids.
Oh my gosh, like the It bullies.
Yeah.
Where, okay, you know what? I didn't think that this would ever have to be something I thank, someone for.
Yeah.
But thank you for not carving anybody's name into any of our bellies.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. I was that close, but but yeah, I loved playing as the bullies. They were very fun to like antagonize you guys with, without being like, I have to kill them now. It's just more of like, I have to just make them feel bad and run them in the direction of this mystery. And I think bullies are a great way in Kinzo Bikes to do that. That's such a sad sentence to say.
No, I hear what you're saying because, I think we don't we don't seem to sometimes we don't seem to realize the nuances in life like that. And even with bullying, like from a GM standpoint with it, where it's like it doesn't have to be I chase them with a hatchet
Right.
kind of a thing. You know,
Right.
I mean, yeah, there was like a bodily harm aspect in there, but it wasn't like, this we're the adventure is going to end here
Right.
because, these bigger kids are going to just like
Murder us.
snap necks or
Yeah.
something. There's layers to it before you get to that point. And something that I like with Kids on Bikes is that you can explore those more PG friendly layers
Right.
than you would with like other systems that it's like, not saying those other systems are bad. It's just, it'll be like you're a dice roll away from losing your left arm.
Right.
For instance, as opposed to you're a dice roll away from falling flat on your back, losing all of your trick-or-treating candy, and now hopefully the rest of the group is able to do something to help you out before you're publicly humiliated for life.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of a thing.
That kind of thing. That's one of my favorite things about Kids on Bikes is it's very story heavy built system where there is the mechanic there that if you roll bad enough, it will be probably fatal to your character or your character will lose something very important. But most of the time, your negatives are going to turn out to be like a story-based fail that helps drive you forward. I really like that about the system and about all the like bully stuff that we got to do because it did help drive the kids forward.
Yeah. We definitely continued on to where then we were able to get to the Puck estate, and we were able to then. Sorry, I'm like dropping everything. We were then able to traverse. Actually, trespass. We were trespassers, a bunch of trespassers. But we're kids, so is it really trespassing? It's exploring.
It's getting a life experience,
Exactly.
We've all done it at one point or the other.
But in doing that, we kind of fell into a Mika trap or paradox, if one will. Can you tell us about like what you had happen to us after we finally got away from those bullies?
Yeah. So I knew I wanted to save the Puck estate and everything in it for the second episode. So I came up with a sort of puzzle / maze type system once you got to the Puck estate, so that even if the group got there super early in the episode, we could still spend some time building out the mystery and getting to the Puck estate through the first episode. So what the kids didn't know at the time is that Madame Puck, the witch who resided there, had enchanted her estate to be basically a time loop of sorts. And so once they showed up in the property and went past the gate, they were basically stuck in this maze that looped time. They came across this group of kids who seemed a little out of their timeline as well. And there was a bunch of like ghost things happening and some whispering in Tortilla's ear to freak him out. And you guys pulled out a Ouija board at some point to talk to some ghosts.
Because of course Journey had a homemade one in her backpack. That was literally the only thing that she had with her, that and a lighter. She has different choices that she made in life than other people.
Priorities,
Yeah. It's like Marcy had a flashlight, which was used a lot.
Cricket had a bunch of useful stuff that she brought out randomly. But Journey had a Ouija board.
yeah. And it's more powerful when you make it yourself, apparently. So there's that. I like in the chat room when we were talking about Stephen King's bullies versus yours bullies.
Yeah.
And I think we kind of broke is it a Zari Broken Heart?
Yeah.
They're like, hot dang. Like, yep. Well, that's Stephen King for you. I mean, there's a lot to be fielded there. I mean, I know for some other stuff that I've taken inspiration from, I've done that with him, but never as far as that dude goes.
Especially not the book versions of his bullies, because like the movie versions are pretty PC compared to what he wrote in actual the book. The It bullies, like I had to put the book down a few times and just be like, what the heck is going on right now? Why is this kid doing this? Right? I just don't understand. I don't think I could ever go that far.
Yeah. Once again, thank you for
You're welcome.
but yeah, like with the paradox, I mean, I really enjoyed well, the paradox maze is what I
Yeah,
is what I think of it in my head.
for sure.
Because like I when I was in the adventure with you, I was like, this makes complete sense because rich people have very large lawns before you even get anywhere close to the house. So it's like, yeah, I could see this happening. And then having the 4 kids in Ghostbusters where come up to us, I was like, this is so Stranger Things, and I'm all about this.
Yeah.
Oh
Little
man.
Paul and his group. Rest in peace.
Yeah, well, it was just like it just kind of drove home a few things because I mean, like with our group, I mean, I had Journey dressed as Death from Sandman because that was just like that was her thing, and Marcy was.
I almost, when I was building out the campaign, I almost built a campaign based on Death from Sandman. And Sandman was going to be like the one big bad, but I eventually went the witch route. And so when you brought up the Journey's costume was Death from Sandman, I was like, this is so big of a coincidence, but I can't mention it right now.
Oh my God. I love that so much. Yeah, no, it's such an amazing character. I mean, Sandman in general. And then like Death in there. Of course, Lucifer. Oh, I'm so glad that Lucifer has like his own series and everything.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you know, it's one of the things that I like to binge watch periodically.
Yeah.
Like I haven't already seen all of it.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, if Sandman didn't exist, then Lucifer. But yeah, with having the Ghostbusters team, and then what ended up happening with them, because you decided to like just kind of twist our hearts a bit with that.
I had to. They can't all survive. Not all of them. I'm so sorry.
And you know what? I'm not even going to dig deep into that. I'm just going to leave that there for those that haven't seen the campaign yet, and what Mika does to the 4 trick-or-treating ghost-busting kids.
I didn't mean for it to be as sad as it got, but it got really sad.
So, but that did bring us to the Puck Estate. And amongst other things, being able to, it's not breaking and entering if you're kids. And it's,
and like,
I'm sure that's written somewhere.
The last owner was like hundreds of years ago. So like, is it really owned? It's just a pile of walls and roofs at that point.
Exactly. So in any case, they go in with, basically permission. Basically. Yeah. And then amongst other things, they discover within the interior, they end up with powerful objects.
Yeah.
So I was kind of wondering about like a little breakdown with what you were thinking with the objects and what brought that around.
I knew I wanted to at least have an episode where we explore the kids on bikes where you can have superpowered teens. Because I'm in a campaign where I am a superpowered teen. It's so cool to use those powers from the Kids on Bikes deck, powered deck. And so I wanted to be able to throw that into the campaign. And it just so happened to work out that I was building a story. Madame Puck was trying to free her kids who were also young witches and wizards. And I feel like this will probably go in the do's and don'ts section, but I feel like I didn't get to explain it well enough that the items were imbued with the powers that her children had. So the characters that you guys were playing were taking their place in the curse by having those powers. And that's why they were even given and drawn to the items in the first place, because she willed it to happen.
Okay. I definitely get that. Hobbs. Yeah, I really liked I also liked how they both all of the objects kind of felt like they were meant for our characters with like just what each one did, like for instance with Journey, where she could hold up a mirror to see what was real, And
Right.
it's like, because she had like this different worldview of everybody else. And it's like, yeah, of course she would have a mirror, like, this is real. And like Marcy's character being able to move things with her mind
So she
because
doesn't have
she's
to touch it.
germophobic. So she doesn't have to touch it. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah. Yeah. Okay. So with that, and then of course we were talking about fears of
Yes.
the characters, and along with their exploration into Madame Puck's house, she then gave them that's the mission. She gave
Right.
them the big mission.
To entertain Sam, the spirit of Halloween. And Sam's like super mischievous, and I knew for Sam, his night of entertainment would be he wanted a trick, he wanted a treat, and then he wanted to test people on their rules. And so the trick was the rooms of fears, the fear rooms. So he tricked everyone into going into them, and then they have to figure their way out by confronting their fear. The treat was the zombie kids and having to give them all the candy, and then testing their rules were the jack-o'-lantern maze at the end, with they had to figure out a way to stop the bullies from destroying the pumpkins. But of course, some things happened. A pumpkin got destroyed, and Sam had to try to reinforce his rules.
Ooh, yeah. Okay, so for our next clip then, because keeping in mind, like it doesn't go to its levels of things, but also these fears will be tested and possibly bested. So the clip that we have is a look into these personal fear rooms that Sam, the spirit of Halloween, and how awesome is that? Where it's like, this is your task. You must entertain the spirit of Halloween. And first thing you have to do is whatever your greatest fear is. And I'm actually kind of curious if y'all are willing to share, like in the chat, what your greatest fears
Ooh.
are. While we're watching this clip, we're going to see some of the greatest fears of our intrepid misfit crew during Autumn Rites.
Everything goes black for everyone, and you feel this intense force push against all of you. The ones that were holding on to each other, you're ripped apart from your partner, and you are now pushed towards what you think would be walls, but instead you're pushed through them, and then you hear doors shut. And you are all alone, everyone, in separate rooms now. And we will start with Cricket.
Okay.
So Cricket, as you come to and gather your surroundings, you're in a long hallway that has no windows or doors. And as you peer down this hallway, you have a really hard time seeing more than a few feet in front of you, even though there are lights in this hallway. And that's because the entire hallway in front of you is covered with tiny, intricate webbings of spiders, with spiders hanging in them. You can see at the end of the hall just barely, if you squint hard enough, that there is a small alcove, much like the one you're standing in, that is clear of webbing and spiders next to the door there. What would you like to do?
Oh, this is not good for Cricket. This is very bad news for Cricket. Oh, goodness gracious. What do they say when you're scared? Yeah, don't think about the scary thing. Just think about how to get by the scary thing. I want to let's see. I would like to look for something long with which to kind of put in front of me as I walk forward to sort of like take down the spider webs as I run really fast through, double dash through.
There isn't anything in this hallway that you can see that you could tangibly grab onto.
I
Seems
take.
as though you might have to embrace your fear here.
Okay. All right. Well, so since I have my knight helmet on, I'm gonna put the visor down on, like the little great visor thing down on it.
Okay. You could also do a brains roll.
Ooh. Okay, I'll do that too. Let me do a brains roll then.
And it'll be a DC of, say, 14.
Okay. Brain. Oh, did I do it? Oop. Sorry, my roll 20 is being real weird. Okay. Go.
Right on the nose.
Yes.
As you're getting ready to charge through with your knight helmet, you pull down the visor, and then the gold of your bracelet catches your eye. And you realize that maybe this is what Madam Puck had given it to you for, in case you could use it.
Okay, let's use this shiny thing and run down this spider-filled hallway because it's my destiny, even though I don't like it.
Okay, roll your flight for me.
Okay.
You have a +2 to this.
Okay, I'll add it now.
And it'll be a DC of 8.
Oh, that was the wrong one. That was fight on flight. Sorry.
Good fight roll though.
Yeah. That's a 7. I have like so many adversity tokens, so I'll make that an 8.
All right. As you focus on the other side of the hallway and you get ready to run, as you take your first step, you feel something happen within your body and the bracelet grows warm on your wrist. And suddenly the door is right in front of you and you look behind you. It's almost as if you had teleported from where you were to where you wanted to be in line of sight.
Now I'm the magician. Excellent. I just try to open the door and get out.
The door is unfortunately locked. You can see a keyhole right underneath the door handle.
What did my scouts say about how to get the easiest way to get through a door without the key? Do I have to roll? Because I have a backpack of like stuff. Can I see if I have my handy Leatherman that has like a screwdriver on it?
Let's see. You can spend 2 adversity tokens because you have the prepared.
Oh, that's right.
Trait
Yeah.
To have one item with you.
I do that thing. So I have 1 adversity token left. I would like to have a Leatherman with a drill bit on it, and so that I can work at the hinges of the door to unscrew the hinges to open the door that way instead of using.
Okay. Yeah, I'll allow that to happen. Can you do a, let's say, brawn roll for me? It won't be super DC'd. You'll just have to take some time doing this. So give it a 4 for brawn.
Then I get
and while we're doing this, we're gonna jump over to Tortilla. As all this is happening with Cricket, and he is trying his hardest to get these hinges off of this door, we jump over to see Tortilla in the same amount of time. You stand up in this new room, the lights come up, and you look around you to gather your bearings. But before you see a sight that makes your blood run cold. For a moment, you wonder how this is even possible, but the water in front of you laps at your feet. Its freezing temperature sending a shock through your body. Before you is a vast expanse of water. It's existing impossibly in this antique room in this house. And you can see across the 30 feet of rough water and waves rushing about in the room, there's a singular door across the way. Doesn't seem to have a lock on it or any keyhole.
Okay. Am I touching the ground in where I am?
Yes. The water is like lapping at your feet and the floor kind of goes downward. It's kind of like a pool going
like
into the
ramp?
deep end. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I am gonna look around. I'm gonna look behind me. I just, for some reason, am curious to see what's behind me.
Behind you is a door that's shut, but there's no doorknob on your side.
There's no doorknob on my side.
And there's no like purchase to get your fingertips in.
Okay. And then on the other side, where the water gets deeper, there's another door.
Yeah, it's almost as if the floor gets deep really fast and then comes back up on the other side. It's like a mirrored kind of situation.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna carefully start to walk down the ramp.
Okay.
I do not like
And
water.
tell me this. Can Tortilla swim?
Tortilla can. So here's the story. There's one time a long time ago when like my old brothers, they like decided they were going to teach me how to swim, and then they did that thing where like they throw you inside, they throw you on the deep end of the pool, and then you never actually learn how to swim, but you come really close to drowning. But then before you drown, you find your way to the side of the pool, and then you just kind of cling on the edge of the pool and spend the rest of the time swimming like there, just kind of moving. So that's all the swimming I can do.
Okay,
So, no, I cannot. Cannot
perfect.
swim.
You begin to walk down this ramp, and it is descending really fast.
Mhm.
It only takes you like 2 steps for the water to be up to your thighs. 2 more steps, and it's like approaching your chest and midsection.
Okay, so Sam, I know you're this is a great I like this game, Sam. I think maybe this is a perfect place for us to play another game. Why don't we, since we're here and there's water, why don't we race from one side to the other with a boogie board, and we can only kick. I challenge you, Sam, right now, right here, right now, I'm going to challenge you to a race with a floaty in this pool. I would like for us to have a race from one end to the other because that's a fun game, and we get floaties.
As you say this, the door on the other side of the room opens, and Sam walks out. And he just waves a little gloved hand at you and beckons you forward.
I'm going to move forward towards him.
Okay, the water is now at your shoulders. Can I get you to roll a grit roll for me to overcome your fear of water? It'll be a 17 DC on a 20 dice.
Okay. Oof.
You rolled a 12. You have 3
I-
adversity tokens.
I would absolutely burn through as many of them as I can to get as close to succeeding.
Okay. So you've burned through 3 of them to get to a 15. You're not quite there. You are trying your hardest to overcome your fear of the water, but it's kind of taking hold of you.
Okay.
And as you let it take hold of you, the water in the room gets deeper, and you don't see any water pouring in, but the water level rises, and now it's up to your chin. And as you're dealing with that, we jump over to Journey. Journey, when all this happened, you were pushed into a dark room just like everyone else. But as the door shuts behind you, you are still in complete darkness. There's not a single light around you, but after a few moments, you feel a cold metal chain brush against your cheek.
Journey would, since the whole night visiony type of thing worked before with the mirror, she would hold the mirror up again to be able to see if she can see the dimensions of this room. Yeah, so you see how Mika is just like twisting the knife on those fears. On those fears.
I plead the fifth. I had so much fun doing that. I can't lie about that. It was so much fun.
It was fun to delve into what the fears were. I mean, obviously this is like, these are just clips, so there is way more to the fear rooms. And you know, I recommend for you to go ahead and check it out on VOD if you're a subscriber, and totally recommend for you to subscribe, because not only is it like awesome for us for subscribers, but you get really great emotes, and like with the campfire and the unicorn going yay, for instance, and the heart feels, all that wonderful stuff. So I think there's a couple of days left. Actually, I know September is over, but I think there's like
I
this
think there's like
weird
5
thing,
days
like,
left.
5 days. Awesome. So okay, then in that case, it's still kind of time with like September where you can get like a discount on the subscriptions that you do. So I believe 1 month is, I don't have it in front of me, 10% off.
20%.
20% off for 1 month, and then 3 months is 25%, and then 6 months is 30%.
Yep.
So yeah, you've got 5 days to just go ahead and if not with us, with someone awesome, like Mika maybe, just like awesomeness. Yeah, so we kind of asked what were some of the fears that you had, and you shared, and the one that stuck out the most, like Mika, you even have like Mika and I actually kind of share a little bit in this with Not Always Weak. You said I have was it tripophobia?
Trypophobia and thalassophobia.
And thalassophobia, which is a aversion to the sight of irregular patterns or clusters of small
Mhm.
holes, like that iPhone, for instance.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other, an intense and persistent fear of the sea, but it's like it's more than that.
Yeah.
It
There's like
differs.
subgenres of it. So
Exactly.
I'm a huge fan of the ocean. Sharks are my thing. Like my Twitch community is called the Shark Tank. I have like cartilage of sharks and so many sharks like just around my room. But the
Yeah.
thalassophobia for me is just being in the middle of nowhere, not seeing land, not seeing another person, and just knowing that there are things living underneath me that could just come up at any moment and I don't have sight on them the way that they have sight on me. And so it's
Yes.
like one of my biggest fears.
Yes, I like to think of it as, and don't get me wrong, I enjoy swimming. I like being in a boat on the
Mm,
ocean type of a thing. I don't like being on the beach when it meets the ocean for some reason. It's just a comfort thing for
okay.
me. When I'm walking out into the water, I
Yeah.
feel so, I don't know, exposed. Like
Yeah.
seaweed freaks me out. I always think it's a Portuguese man of war. But
Oh,
and when I'm on a boat on the ocean, totally different. When I'm going into it, I feel like I'm trespassing into somebody's home and that somebody is a mad ass shark that just wants to, like,
yeah.
protect its territory.
I
It
mean,
wants to
and
stand its ocean, if you know what
that
I
is
mean. So,
totally acceptable too. That's the way I describe all like you're going into the shark's home. You can't really blame it for attacking you.
mhm.
So it's a
So yeah.
very real fear to have. Yeah.
Yeah, it's either or. I'm either there already or I'm walking alongside it and I'm not going
Yeah.
in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That and the whole depth that goes in.
Mm.
Like, I don't
'Cause
like having goggles on when I'm swimming
yeah.
because I actually don't want to see the bottom of the pool. I don't want to see how far away
Yeah.
it
I
gets.
mean, more than half the ocean has not been explored yet, which is
Thank you.
bizarre to think about.
Yeah.
So there is so much life down there that we have not found. There's so many things that we just are clueless and living right alongside. So that's a little scary to think about. Stop looking
Yeah.
at space, start looking in the oceans. We need to discover this stuff first.
Oh my God. We would have gotten along so well in high school. Like, you don't even know. That was literally the thing that I would say to people. And they'd be like, oh, I'm sure we've explored it. I'm like, no, we
No, no,
haven't.
no.
And one day we will, and it will freak everybody out. And they actually did some explorations, but it happened in 2020. So it kind of got buried
Yeah.
under everything else.
I've seen some of the creatures that they've like discovered so far in the year and like they shapeshift. It's bizarre.
Yeah. Yeah.
That lives with
Our
us.
planet is the alien. So
Yeah. We're the alien. Well, yeah.
yeah. Well,
Something like that.
things in it are alien to us.
Yeah.
It's like respect these things. But yeah, some of the other things that we had, Zerai, broken heart, greatest fear, being stabbed in the back by someone I love, trust dearly.
Yeah.
There are
I think
so
everyone fears
many.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many properties that are just like totally based off of that.
Yeah.
And then, us standing aside from it, we can be like, oh, they're totally going to betray them. But if you're in it, you
You
don't
don't
see.
realize it.
Yeah.
You have the best interests at heart and like you trust that person. Yeah.
I like Resback 390. One tangible fear, being in the dark with noises I can't recognize, or turn on a light to figure out what it is.
Yeah.
We actually had that in your campaign that you did with
We
us.
did.
Where,
In
yeah,
the little
where
hide and seek room.
so creepy.
Where Sam just wanted to play hide and seek. And then he was like, oh, they can't find me, so I'm just gonna go and hang out with them. And he hung on to Tortilla's hand.
No.
And he sent you to your fear room because you guys screamed at him when you saw him. He was like, why are you scared? I'm here. I'm your friend. So he was like, okay, here's a trick for you then. Go to your
Right.
fear room.
Right. For our community, can you just describe what our 11 to 15-year-olds saw when suddenly this spirit of Halloween appeared holding on to one of their hands in the
Yeah.
dark?
Do you want me to show it? Because I have a little figurine of this character.
Yes.
I pulled him
please.
from one of my favorite Halloween movies, Trick or Treat. It's fantastic. He's this little man. Usually he has a hood on, but isn't he just adorable? He's just the cutest little guy in the world. So
And-
they would have seen this grabbing onto Tortilla's hands.
Mhm. In the dark when they were playing hide and seek and were following his voice to a different part of the room.
Yeah. It's so cute. What are you talking about?
Of course. Yeah, that was horrifying and creepy. But yes, the Funko Pop version is very cute, but
Mhm.
also still horrifying and creepy.
Still a little horrifying, yeah.
Yes. Love it. And I really liked Penguiny 11 when you were like, I'm so unaware of my own fears that I'm always surprised when they get me. And it's like, oh, that's kind of the worst. Where it's like not being
Don't know
able.
you have it. It takes you by blindsiding you.
Yeah. I think I've run into that a number of times with like different horror movies where, like, for instance, one of the one I don't know if you've seen this one yet. It's The Bridge Curse. It's
No.
like it's good. It's on Netflix. It's Korean subtitles only, English subtitles, unless you know Korean, which I need to learn Korean just so I can play my Switch and watch horror movies at the same time.
I know a little bit. So when I'm
Mhm.
watching Korean movies, I can pick up words and like kind of translate what their meanings are, but I still definitely need subtitles.
Nice. But yeah, the bridge curse, like it just keeps on coming at
Oh,
you
man.
like the entire time. Like this one dude is literally drowned in a bucket of water and he's not able to get out and
Oh,
like his head's
no.
in it. And Penguiny 11's like comment reminded me of that moment that I felt when this dude was drowning in a bucket of water and no one could help him.
Yeah.
It's just like I never knew that was a thing for me and now it is.
Well, it's like, I guess I'm thinking of the Final Destination movies where you can make yourself as safe as possible and you don't think that any of your fears are around or if there's anything to be afraid of. But then like you don't think you're going to drown because it's just a bucket. And then it happens.
It's just a bucket. But yeah, that brings us on to the rest of the campaign with, like you said before, where it's like having to entertain Sam and, go up against our own fears. And then after that, having to follow the rules with making sure that none of the lights went out in the jack-o'-lanterns.
Mhm.
And then having our version of bullies like
Right.
show up again to take those out, and we ended up actually taking one of them out, not the bullies, the jack-o'-lantern
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
mistake.
That was a fun little thing to throw in at the end, where it was to see how long you could keep the jack-o'-lanterns alive. I was going to have it be you would get to the bullies and you would have to stop them from 3 attempts. And if you failed any of those attempts, a jack-o'-lantern would go out. And then it would be a race against the clock, a race against sunrise, basically trying to see how long you can last until sunrise comes up and Sam decides like, oh, well, I had fun tonight, even if you broke the rule. You lasted till morning and that's the rule. So I have to let you go. But you guys like really handled that pretty well. I liked the craftiness of putting the pumpkin back together and trying to light it on fire. And you were down to the wire with your candy bars as well. You didn't have, I think you have 1 Three Musketeer left at that point for poor Sam.
Yeah, those came in handy. So glad that Luis's character Tortilla had that very prophetic dream that 3 Musketeers
Yeah.
would help steer the way for us, which is like so kids' Halloween story at the same time, and I just love it.
And it fed so well in because he didn't know that Sam, the character I pulled from Trick or Treat, is swayed away from killing people when they offer him candy. And so he didn't know that going in. And it's actually a scene in the movie where he's about to stab someone and he stabs a candy bar instead and is like, oh, you're offering this to me. I won't kill you then. And he walks away. And so it was just like a really great coincidence that his character was like, 3 musketeers. It's important. We have to have them. It also saved him from his tidal waves too, because he offered one up.
That's true. Like with his personal fear room where he was about to, not great things.
Drown. Yeah.
Not great things were about to happen. Yeah.
Not great things at all.
Yeah. All that depth of the water. So
Yeah.
it's like not great things. This has been awesome. Like for this first half of the show where we talk about the recap of Autumn Rights. You know, that's the campaign that Mika was GMing for us on Tuesdays here at Hunters Entertainment. And yeah, like this breakdown with everything. Is there anything else that you would want us to know about Autumn Rights in general that we haven't already really talked about, or something you might want to expand on?
Man, I'm not sure if anyone in chat has questions about the campaign. I'd love to answer them or give you more insight. We've covered like most of the big stuff today.
Yeah.
All the big
I know that earlier I saw in chat Zerai Brokenheart was like, normally I think it was Zerai. Apologies if it wasn't them. It said like normally I do D&D as an RPG, and then but like being able to hear about this campaign, it's like, oh, maybe I should try other RPGs. And then after I saw that comment, I was like, yes,
Absolutely.
we got another one.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, D&D is it's D&D, but you can explore so many cool stories and like different play styles by going into other RPG systems. If you like role playing, Kids on Bikes is a really good one for that. Same with Teams on Space and Kids on Brooms. There are so many cool systems out there. Like if you really want a combat heavy system, do Dread. You got to start exploring. The RPG world, the TTRPG world is so vast, and there's going to be something out there for you no matter what you want. You'll find something that is just like perfect.
Yes. And it's like if you want something that's more narrative focused, and yes, there are RPGs for you like this. Kids on Bikes, There's also Kids on Brooms, there's Teens in Space, which if you were here at the top of the show, then I was like, we won an Origin Award, yay. So yeah, but then it's like if you want things that are more Halloween themes, you know, because like October, obviously Outbreak Undead, it is more mechanics heavy with things. If you want a one sheet, I mean, 10 Candles, for instance.
Oh yeah.
If you want a one sheet to like do with friends, and you
want a one sheet where like your character will probably die, do 10 Candles.
Yeah. It's like, you know, just to get over that whole fearing death thing.
Yeah.
Like go ahead and do that. You know, narrative focused and yeah. And people die. You get really attached to your character and bad things happen.
Right.
Yeah, it's just really great to like ease the way. So yeah, okay, so we're gonna go ahead and of course chat, go ahead and keep on hitting us. Okay, Scabby Rooster.
Does milk and spaghetti
I wonder if that's
together?
Knox. It says, does milk and spaghetti go together, Mika?
Personally, I think it's an incredible food combo. The milk really balances out the sauce. My 2 rats are named Milk and Spaghetti because it's 2 of my favorite foods. So I would say yes, absolutely, Knox. But I'm sure some people would argue against me.
Excellent. I love the deep cut there. That's like, that was said with knowledge, and I really, really appreciate
that. Was actually one of my bullies. Everyone on Kolok 1991 bullied me for eating spaghetti with milk during a cast outing one night. And it was like a Twitter bullying. They continue to bully me. See, Knox is bullying me right now, bringing it up.
Okay. So the second part of the show, after we come back from a 10-minute break, it will literally be talking with Mika about GMing, about playing in worlds that she's created and that other people have created, about the do's and don'ts of doing Kids on Bikes if you're interested in this RPG, both playing in it and particularly GMing in it. And then, of course, our conversation is going to go organically from that. So go ahead and hit up some like questions in the chat room. We're going to go ahead and curate those. And then after this 10-minute break, we are going to come back with all your questions answered. And of course, with also just having an organic, fun conversation about RPGs and the worlds that we live in. So yeah, this part of the show has been with Mika Midgett, where we were talking about the finale of Autumn Rights. And then the next part will be going into everything that I already just said. So we will see you in just a moment. And I have been your host, Markeia McCarty, and see you soon.